game. Time to play the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the house tonight at VAUGHAN SPORTSPLEX 2 for our first ever live Toe Knows Everything podcast on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Tonight I'm super thrilled to have the one and the only, the real Marco G, Marco Giorgio in the house. Marco, what's happening, brother?
How are you?
Thank you for
nice
coming.
Nice to see you.
Marco is a pillar of the community, a community activist, soccer aficionado, entrepreneur, all around amazing guy, Juve booster, Gattuso super fan, the real Marco G. So, buddy, thank you for being here tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you
I
for
am
having
so
me,
excited
honestly.
to have you here because I got to tell you, you're one of the most exciting guys to talk to here in this 80,000 square facility. When I see you here, I get excited. You hype me up right away. You got to be on everybody's team because you are the man to hype people up.
You know what? They tell me that all the time. I'd be great as a hype man, but you know what? I'd be even better smashing goals for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Tony knows it.
I see you on the field, so anytime you play with intensity. So for people who don't know you, tell me a little bit about who you are, where you grew up, where you came from, and how you came to be the real Marco G.
Well, I grew up in Etobicoke, in the Royal York and Eglinton area. And
that's a high-class area of Toronto, man.
High class, but you know, a lot of rugged things happen in every neighborhood. You know, there's always closed doors and such. But the one big thing that growing up as a kid, as a lot of people can relate, is we were always outside, always playing sports, always enjoying life for what it is. And
so completely different from now, where kids are on their iPads and fooling around on electronics. They're not out there playing ball hockey like when we were kids. We're not playing soccer at all hours of the night, waiting till the light comes on, and then mothers yelling at kids on the street.
Exactly. You know it. No, it's completely. It's like apples to oranges. You know, and it's
so,
sad.
How was your childhood? Explain. So you were out there playing sports, playing soccer. How'd your love for soccer come about?
I'll tell you the truth. I remember being a young boy and going to the park with my father and playing soccer. And I remember the first soccer ball I got. It was black and white. And I looked at my father. I said, "Papa, why is this ball black and white?" And he goes, "Because you're Juventino." He goes,
So Juventino, for those of you who don't know, Juventus.
Straight up.
So your dad told you he set your destiny in place. You're a Juventino from a young child.
That's it. That's
black
the way
and white.
Black and white. I bleed it.
The colors of Juve.
The colors of Juve.
The zebra.
That's it. The zebra. The old lady. You know what I mean? The way we were taught to enjoy the game, play for the love of the game. Instill the creativity, the passion. In a time we say giochi con il cuore, with your heart.
Play with your heart.
You know, a lot of people don't understand what it's like. A lot of kids think it's about how many tricks or how many goals they score. No, it's about being a part of something special, being a part of a team, which in my books means being part of a family. So being introduced at a young age with my father, watching soccer on Saturday or Sunday morning, whichever day that it was, it meant a lot to me. And also...
So soccer was about family, spending time with your dad.
Yeah, definitely. It was.
It had a bigger meaning than just a game.
It was more than that. Yeah, it was...
You think that's why people are so passionate about soccer? Because it's more than just a round ball being kicked around on turf or on a grass patch?
Most definitely, because when I watch Juve games, for instance, or any big sport in Europe and in other places in the world, you see old nonnas and grandmothers and old people at the facility because it is a part of the culture. It's for most it's number one, and then number two is politics, and number three is their religion.
You sent me a good Instagram post the other day. You said more people watch the World Cup than a combined number of NFL Super Bowls. So obviously, soccer worldwide is the sport of the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though NFL might have more hype and whatnot. But soccer is definitely the sport of the world.
100%, because it's made for everyone. You don't need to have money to play soccer.
That's it.
Anyone can be good. It's the people's sport. There's the rich with the poor, and they combine and they make something beautiful, and they appreciate it for what it is. And at the end of the day, the ball is round. It rolls the same way for you as it does for me. And a lot of the younger generation, they're losing that thought when they play soccer or just any sport in general. They're losing it. They think it's about being the best on their own, but they forget that being the best means being with the best team.
Yeah, it's a team sport. It really is.
100%. 100%.
To go back to Juve, today's Ronaldo's birthday. 100%. I don't know if you knew that.
He's
of course you know that.
34 now.
34 years old.
Looking
right?
like he's 24. Never mind.
He says he's going to play till he's 45.
I could see it. Probably maybe even 54. The way he's going. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about Juventus, and this for all the Juventus fans and Serie A fans and Champions League fans out there. Tell me this about Juventus. Are they going to win the Champions League this year? Will Juventus win the Champions League?
Yeah, 100%. Who am I trying to kid? I'm going to sit here and try and analyze it. Come on, everyone's
afraid.
No
one's stopping them.
And the truth is,
no Messi.
People say, "Oh, we got knocked out by Atalanta." Well, you know what? Maybe from a coach's perspective,
in the Coppa Italia.
Yeah, but maybe
what happened? How'd they screw it up?
You know,
3-0's a little bit of a beating.
Listen, I could say mistakes here, mistakes there, but I think there's an underlying plan. Because from a coach's perspective, when you're going in another tournament, you're risking your players playing in that game. You know, so. In their vision, what's more important, Coppa Italia or Champions League?
Is that the same mistake TFC made last year with CONCACAF when they tried to go all the way? They put all their chips into winning CONCACAF, and then they got screwed in the end.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to play your cards right and know which battles
to
lose, but not to lose the war.
You got to make a bet.
Yeah, and I think we're going for the war. And the battle, just because we lost the Coppa, it doesn't matter, because then we lose that risk of losing good players in games that we don't need to play anymore.
Okay, let me ask you something about Italian soccer and Serie A.
Yes.
Italian soccer at the national level has been on the decline for a number of years. They didn't qualify for the last World Cup.
Yeah.
They've struggled. They've looked less than mediocre. What's the problem with Italian soccer? Especially when you see a guy like Ronaldo come in. He played in Spain, but obviously plays for the Portuguese national team.
Yeah.
Comes into Italy, changes the complete vibe of Serie A. Why are we struggling as a nation in Italy in terms of national level soccer? What is the problem with Italy in terms of the national team? Is it the players? Is it the development? Is it the structure? What's the problem with Italian soccer? Is it too much pasta?
No, you know what? It could be.
Lay off the carbs.
Lay off the carbs. The panzerotti, the paninos.
No more sopressata at halftime.
That's
like
it. You know
used
it.
to have. In the old days, they said those guys just go in, have a smoke. Yeti would have a smoke at halftime, a glass of wine, they can get back out there. That's the Italian.
Yeah,
and they were winning back then. And
that's
when they used to win.
That's true.
Maybe we're going to go back to the old days.
I think so. But I think what's really lacking in the actual squad is simple one word, and it's called unity. Okay? A lot of guys want to be the next legend. A lot of guys want to be the next superstar in Italy. Well, the only way you get there is by playing together. A lot of guys forget that if you go to play alone, okay, you're only going to end up one place, alone. You know,
that's right.
Ronaldo said it in a recent interview that the pressure on him is the same in Spain and in Italy, but the only difference is because Italy is set up through defensive soccer. They all have good defenses, and he said that's the difference. That's why
true.
He likes it. And in my perspective, and I think a lot of people would relate, is that he revitalized Serie A. A lot of big players want to come back and play in Serie A, which is amazing because, you know, if you look at the teams we had in the 90s, you know, coming up, that's it. It was the best. And then, you know, a lot of bad stuff happened. Yep. You know, the match fix, you know, everyone's opinion comes in. You know, one that really bothered me, and I'm sorry to say it, but when Zlatan go and bash Ronaldo about, oh, that's not the challenge, this and that.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, like, in my eyes, when stuff went bad for Juve, all the core guys stayed with them.
That's right.
But he ran for the hills. He ran for the hills.
So he was gone. Del Piero stayed. Gigi Buffon stayed.
Yeah, exactly.
Zlatan took off.
Exactly. And he wants to go and criticize
for himself. Him. He is. He's a selfish player.
Yeah, great player. Great player. But when you play like that.
But not a team thinking type of player.
Exactly. And you have to watch out because sometimes that's a bad attitude that you give. And then you emulate that, and younger players want to, I'm the best. And I notice it every day, and just this past weekend, I see it. You know, There's a lot of selfishness in the game. There's no passion anymore.
And this, for the first time ever, I think Ronaldo is playing unselfish soccer. I've seen him play live twice. An amazing, phenomenal player, probably one of the best that's ever played the game in terms of physicality, technique, dribbling, the best. But I got to tell you, he's become a better player and more mature playing with Juventus than he's ever been. So shout out to all the Portuguese Islanders.
Yeah, straight
I got
up.
a lot of Portuguese buddies. It's a big rivalry between the Italians and Portuguese. But he's improved the game in Italy, hands down, like nobody else has been able to do, a one-man show.
Yeah.
And for Juventus, the financial boom has been incredible.
Oh, it's been amazing. And the way he's helped me is that when I first found out that he signed with Juve, I wake up, I'm in my pajama, nice. I put on the tapini. I look at my screen. Ronaldo to Juventus. Babe, we can get married. It brings a unity between the Italian and the Portuguese.
So your girl's Portuguese, obviously.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So
yeah,
big
amazing.
combination. You see a lot of couples, Portuguese, Italian. So this is the new power couple.
Yeah, you
right
said
here.
it. You said it. But it really made dreams come true because not just for the fans, but even for Ronaldo. Because he said when he was with a young kid with Sporting, my dream would be to play with Juventus.
Yeah.
And you see a young man that helps so many people get what he wants.
Incredible.
And then he delivers because he feels wanted. And when you feel wanted, you wanna come, you wanna show up and be a part of something special.
And he just said in a recent interview that when he retires or just before he retires, he wants to go back to Sporting to give back to the club where it all started. So amazing story there.
That's
What do you
awesome.
see for Italy? Are they going to qualify in the next World Cup? Like I know they're bringing up players like Quagliarella, who's having an amazing season. 36 years old. Scored 11 consecutive goals in 11 games.
He's showing
playing
it.
the best soccer of his life. So really amazing soccer at 36 years old. They're talking about bringing Jovinko up for some qualifying
That's
matches.
a definite.
So where do you see Italy? Are they going to qualify for the next World Cup?
I definitely hope so. With the firepower that we have, it should be a no-brainer for us because all of our guys can shoot, all of our guys can score, but it's when it matters. Are they willing to pass when they need to pass, or are they willing to shoot when they need to shoot? They have to know that the decision making. Do I want to be the star? Or do I want to be part of the team that's the star?
Right.
And I think the young guys missing out on Russia was an eye opener for the entire organization.
You need a kick in the balls
the entire
to wake you up
structure.
once in a
Yeah,
while.
exactly. Yeah,
And that's what I think they got. Tell me
100%.
something. Jovinko just got sold. Sebastian Jovinko, TFC's number 10, gets sold to the Saudi Arabians, Al Hilal and Halal. He's over there right now playing with them. $10 million a year. What do you think? Good, bad, ugly? Did TFC make a big mistake?
Listen, Jovinko's around the same age as me. You throw
Yeah,
10 million
that's right.
at me, dude, I'll play anywhere in my mutandis.
Should they have tried to save him? Should they have tried to save him?
Yes, but at the same time, no, because they're changing management, they're changing the vision, they're changing the structure, the blueprint of how they want to win. And my thinking is that the players aren't too happy with their coach. There has to be something going on there. Okay.
Is it time for Vanny to go? Did he
100
have his time? He won the MLS Cup.
Definitely, and the fact that his kids are part of the academy, okay? Listen, I don't know the guy personally, but I think having other goals in front of yours, just you stay at a club because you want to make sure that, your family gets in. I think it's not fair to the kids that really that can have a chance to be there. Not because their daddy knows somebody, and that's the way I always believe it. Doesn't matter who you're.
Who do you think the next TFC coach should be?
Personal preference? Alessandro Del Piero, baby.
Wow.
Straight up. Let's
Can
do
you
it.
imagine that?
Oh, dude, come on. Just the leadership. Just the leadership. Just the leadership.
That would be pretty incredible.
That would be, I don't know if they
see
could
that
afford it,
happen.
but I think it would be great because I think it would instill the playing with the passion, with the unity, A lot of players, they don't have that. Look at what Zizou did for Real. Amazing.
Or what Gattuso's
doing for Milan. These guys are
100%.
playing with the heart, and they are at legend status. And right now, it's very tough to see these youngsters fill some shoes that these guys are going out of the game.
That's
Right. I don't know. There's a couple of young guys. They say Mbappe is going to be good. Neymar, incredible player. Who's going to be at legend status within the next 5-10 years? It's tough to see. It's really tough to see.
I agree. Every generation has its stars, though. And we always say they'll never be able to replace a Del Piero. They'll never be able to replace Beckenbauer, whoever it is. But then, obviously, someone shows up, someone who's hungry, and they become the next legend.
Yeah, and I think it's within the next national team for Italy that we'll see our next big Italian superstar. Not that I don't love every superstar out there, believe me. But it's us at times been waiting. And, after that last heartbreak, I think we deserve a youngster to come out. I think it might be Jovinko, and he's not even that young, but he's at the age where in 2006, most of our players were at that age.
Right.
At that mature, want to win.
Yeah, this is sort of the prime.
No BS policy, and they play with square balls. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of good young players coming up through the ranks. You got Milan has a whole bunch of them. You got Calabrian defense. So there's a whole slew of them ready to come up and take the place of some of the veterans.
100%.
Okay, let me ask you this question. We all know Canadian Professional Soccer League is coming to Canada.
Ooh,
we got excited. 7 teams. It's going to launch this spring. They just signed a deal with Volkswagen to sponsor.
Yep.
I think it's all tied into the 2026 World Cup.
100%.
The USA, Mexico, Canada hosting. This was one of the stipulations to make sure that we got the cup. Where do you see this league going? Is it going to be successful, or is it going to flop like the countless other leagues? Like we've seen it before. We've seen it in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Is this one going to succeed?
In my opinion, yes, to a certain extent, but it all matters on the way they started, who they're gonna be showcasing on the field. Now, I know they're planning for 2026, and it's good to get their grassroots and their young players signed in their academies and this and that. But I think to watch a beautiful game, it's the youngsters are being taught it's a race to the goalie's net. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not playing the way soccer's supposed to be played, which is to the width, make the game look good. It's supposed to be like a game of chess. You know, you wait, you come back, you go through the defense, you switch to the side, you make your crosses in until the time is right to strike, to put the ball on the net.
Is the problem in Canada coaching? Because that's what I'm hearing from you. Is
know,
it just that we have coaches that are not at that level, at that international, national level?
I think the problem is a lot of coaches are getting their licensing here in Canada, which is, yeah, it's good, but they need to get that European, that South American type coaching experience, not even the piece of paper, the experience. Go there for the course. Go to Ireland. You know, I have friends of mine that they're in the TFC Academy as coaches, and they go to Ireland and they get their B, and then they go back for the best. You got to learn from the best, back where it was created.
That's what the Chinese are doing. The Chinese are bringing in all the Italian players and coaches into their league, the Chinese Super League, because they're getting ready to be a superpower in soccer. But they're learning from the best.
Exactly,
and
they're investing
paying
money.
They're paying and investing money. Not that we don't have good coaches.
Exactly.
We got some amazing coaches.
We do.
Some of the coaches on York 9, you got Carmen and Sacco, and some of the other guys here, local guys who are really good. But that's not a slight to them. We're not at an international level yet in Canada. Do you think people are going to pay to go watch these games?
Yes and no, because not everyone's going to pay, you know, the amount of money. Not that it's expensive. You know, there's some tickets, they're a little bit up there, but it's understandable. It's a league. It's a business. You have to help them out. But they're not going to pay to watch a bunch of university guys, first, second year, third year, fourth year, run around and play soccer that doesn't look like a beautiful game. So they can have the speed race all they want, you know, but it's who has the mind, the vision. You know, I think anyone under the age of 25 that's going to be signed in the CPL should be really special. You know, a couple names that I know off the top of my head. A good friend of mine, Emilio Estevez, 20 years old, monster in futsal, monster on the field and outdoor, young kid. You know, guys like that are going to be, you know, the future stars. But at the same time, they're signing young guys, 17 years old. They did excellent at the open trials. But what happens when you have a monster that's 28 years old that's going to come in and he's going to play in a way,
experience,
a little bit more experience, that he doesn't have to play the length of the field. They play the width, you know. And we've wasted a lot of good players that could still play in that league.
So it's about quality and talent. We got a lot of players playing internationally. A lot of the good players are not going to be in the CPL.
The CPL,
right? They're playing all over. They're playing in England, in Wales, different parts of
Singapore.
Europe. So
Singapore. I have a buddy that was playing in Singapore. You know?
Now the other thing is they got to compete directly with TFC. At the end of the day, you know, you're going to have a game. Are you going to go watch a TFC game, or you're going to go watch a York 9 game? Right, and that's the call. You know what? Our parents and families going to want to go and take their kids to an MLSE event, which is at BMO Stadium, or are they going to want to come to a local stadium and watch 17, 18-year-old players? Got to be realistic.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's head-to-head competition.
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, we wish them the best of luck. We hope that, you know, Canadian soccer flourishes.
Yep.
But will they make it? We're going to have to wait to see.
Yeah, you know what? I'm excited. I hope it goes well. But at the same time, they have to think, how are they going to get the people to fill up the stadium? Well, my advice would be for all the CPL clubs, would be to give out free tickets to all of the clubs that are around that are supporting your club.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of their strategies.
Just give them out. Once the kids like it, they're going to force the parents to go. And then once that happens, that's it. They're golden. The ball is it's gonna become a big snowball, and then at the end they'll have all the profits from it.
Good. So we wish them the best of luck. Let me ask you a
definitely.
question. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Brady, 6 rings.
I called that they were gonna win, and I even liked on our buddy Luca the Waterboy report. I said, yeah.
Shout out to the Waterboy report.
Shout him out. He's here, the best, number one. I did say the Patriots gonna win. But people say to me a Super Bowl, and to me, I'm thinking of a big bowl of Cheerios at night when you're tired.
Or a plate of pasta.
Un bello piatto di pasta with fagiolini, you know what I mean?
Nice.
But for me, no, I didn't watch it personally, no. I was playing soccer here at your facility.
Good man.
And,
you got your priorities straight.
100%.
You're playing the right football, the one with your foot.
That's
not the
it.
One with your head.
And we won 4-3.
Attaboy,
And we won 4-3. It was worth it. It was worth it. Trust me.
Even though you didn't watch it, Brady wins 6 Super Bowl rings. You know, people are talking about him. He's the GOAT, right? He's got 6 championships and comparing him to Jordan. It's hard to make comparisons with other sports. But how does a guy like that, at his age, plus 40, still win? Really, he didn't have much of a team. It was 3 guys. It was really him and Belichick who ran the whole show. How does a guy like that continue to win even at 40 plus years old?
Well, there's a story I can relate to this situation, okay? Last session, my girlfriend's son, he was playing ball hockey. And we were coaches of the team. And on the final, we made it to the finals. And 7 players show up. So it's 5, the goalie, and 1 sub. And the other team's parents are saying, oh, just forfeit. So before we went into the game, I told the kids, I said, guys, it doesn't matter about the numbers. Okay, what matters is willingness to win. What are you willing to do to win? Okay? So I devised a strategy. I said, guys, we don't have the players to go chase after them. Let's get a quick couple goals and then defend. As soon as the ball goes past half, you defend. And that's it. You don't chase the ball, just clear it out so it's not icing. And we play like that the whole game, okay? We start the game, 2 minutes in, we got 2 quick goals. By the half of the game, I had the other parents wanting to kill me. Oh, that's not fair. What's not fair? You're telling me to quit.
What do you think about these parents, now that you're talking about it?
Just on the news today, there was a brawl that happened. I think the OPP were called out to it.
So what's going on? Why are parents so involved, taking it so personally? You know, you got a lot of loudmouth parents, a bunch of dads who all think that they're super coaches and that they know the game even though they never played.
They never played it. They can't even put a screw in the wall.
But everyone puts their 2 cents in. Is that just human nature or what is it?
No, I think it's lack of hopping on the good foot and doing the bad thing. You know, maybe there's something going on at home. But I think people need to calm down a bit and understand that if you don't show the proper way of how your kid to act professional, how's he ever going to make it, or he or she going to make it professional? If you don't show them how to act in public and present themselves. You know, hey, no one's perfect. There's been times when I've blown up, and a lot of people at home could say, oh, yeah, they know, yeah, Marco, what the thought. But it's being realistic. Where do you want to see your kids end up? Where do you want them to act like an animal or act nice, you know? But just
so it's all about being a dad, being a mentor, being a coach,
a role model,
being a role model for these kids.
Definitely.
Would you say that's what's missing in society today? A lack of role models, coaches, dads. There's a vacant void.
Yeah.
And that these kids don't have that leadership.
They don't have the leadership, you know, and like they think they can just be like everything they see on TV. They go, oh, Tom Brady won 6, this and that. They don't understand the struggle that Tom Brady went through to win 6. How many times he's almost been injured, done from the game, you know? And like you said, he didn't have the proper team with him, but what he had was the team that had willingness to win. And with that, they got number 6.
You got it.
And people could say whatever they want.
All the obstacles.
That's it. People can say whatever they want. It's up to you.
There's a famous leadership coach called John Maxwell, and he says, all things worthwhile in life are uphill.
Exactly.
There's nothing worthwhile in life that's downhill. It's all uphill.
100%.
And that's what you see with Brady, and he's made it happen 6 times. Definitely the GOAT in football.
Yeah,
can't beat that.
I don't watch it, I know that for sure.
Okay, let me ask you a question, because I know you're a big wrestling fan.
Oh, God, yeah.
WrestleMania is coming up. How do you see wrestling changing over the decades and years? Like, in the Vince McMahon era, when he was still wrestling himself, you had The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You got this new generation of wrestlers.
Yeah.
Where do you see wrestling going? Does it still have the same attractiveness for people, or is it sort of waned? Because I know the kids are still loving it. But what do you think as a wrestling fan?
No, I was a diehard wrestling fan when I was a kid. I remember when they said Hulk Hogan died, okay, but it was all part of the show. I was really crying. Oh my God.
You were crushed.
Sure, that's it. My hero's dead.
Hulkamania's done, baby.
That's it. Well, I can't rip the canotiera no more. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But watching wrestling recently, with Logan, my girlfriend's son, is that those characters are trying to bring it back where it's a personal touch, a personal connection.
Right.
Like recently we saw Roman Reigns pour his heart out to millions and millions of people telling the truth. Hey, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah, he's sick.
And he's been supported right away the whole way through. And I think it's coming back to that era where it's like, they're becoming, people know, okay, they can say, oh, wrestling's fake. Okay, it's choreographed, but these people are really putting their bodies on the line, their lives on the line. I remember being a kid and watching Owen Hart die on live TV.
That's right.
When he
Crazy
fell
stuff.
70 feet from the top.
There's an amazing documentary on Netflix called Lucha Libre about Mexican wrestlers.
Yeah.
And it talks about how real wrestling really is. And these guys, tearing ACLs and back surgeries and wrestlers getting crippled.
Yep.
One Mexican wrestler being killed in the ring because he broke his spine. So these guys are really performing amazing acts. You got to be an athlete no matter what.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day, you're putting your body on the line day in, day out. And guys like, even the guys like The Rock, who wrestled 100 shows a year, good, bad, or ugly, he had to be there.
Yeah.
Ice pack, no ice pack, a shot here, test, clambuterol, whatever it took.
Yeah.
Those guys were out there performing for the fans.
Yeah, they got battered and bruised, and they did it for, for the people, essentially.
100%. A couple of weeks ago, I had Ben Johnson here.
Oh, yeah,
1988
awesome.
Olympics. I got a lot of flack for that interview, believe it or not, because people said, oh, what the Ben Johnson says he doesn't smoke weed, but the guy was taking tests and clambuterol and this and that. How did he win? And, everyone was bashing. Tell me about haters and, the reality of sports at an elite level, because you've seen them all, right? You've been there at the top levels. What is it about people hating on people when they get to the top of the game? Regardless of whether, because we know top athletes have all used drugs. At the end of the day, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, that is the reality. The most Olympians at one point or another, if you've taken caffeine, you've used a drug.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, people want to bash, and they want to bash people like Ben Johnson for telling the truth, which I think is completely wrong. They're just haters who want to pull people down.
It's true.
What do you think about that?
I think they need to just keep their mouth shut because he's still an Olympian. He's a top level athlete. You gotta look. You got there. You gotta listen to him. Okay, well, they could say, oh, he did this, he did that. At the end of the day, he's a human being. He's a human being. Nobody's perfect. We say, a lot of things have to be politically correct today. I say, who gives a shit? Let's say the way it is, move forward, what's in the past, aim for a better future.
And I think he got a raw deal. I think the newspaper reports are coming out saying they framed him. I'm sure they did. The Americans had so much money at stake.
100%.
Canada, a little small country, 30 million people. We didn't give any money to the International Olympic Committee. They said, we can't let this guy win. At the end of the day, Carl Lewis, big star, he had to win. And that was the bottom line.
Who knows what the underlying message was and what kind of agenda there was because when it comes to Olympics, there's a lot of sponsorships, a lot of stuff being thrown around.
Absolutely.
When you get a gold medal, your sponsorship is different than when you get a bronze, or if you get any at all. Everyone wants to be that Olympian on the Wheaties box.
That's right.
And I think it comes down to realism. Do you want a fake athlete to be the star? Do you want someone to say, you know what, I made a mistake, but I still won, and that's all that matters.
Beautiful. Let's transition a little bit from athletics to business.
100%.
You're a businessman. You've got a successful construction company.
Yeah.
You're always evolving, growing. What does it take to be successful in business today? Because athletics doesn't last forever. They got to translate their athletic career for top athletes into something. And a lot of them piss all their money away. Most NBA players lose all their fortune, as well as NFL players. 80% lose their fortune within 5 years after they retire, and that's a fact. It's a statistic. Tell me, how can you be successful in business today in this competitive environment, especially in a country like Canada that's not really pro-business? We're more of a socialist country, big social safety net. Everyone wants to be taken care of. Everybody says, you got to hold my hand. How is it that you take care of yourself? You run your own business, you make your own income, you do your own marketing, you don't ask for any handouts, you never ask for sympathy. How does a guy like Marco Giorgio become successful in business and life?
Being Italian, I'm sure you can relate to At a young age, our parents make us do work around the house,
That's it. You
and
gotta work.
whether it's washing the dishes or attending to the garden or helping in the
That's it.
garage doing some woodwork.
It's not being lazy. It's kicking the ass time.
That's it. 12 years old, I was helping my father doing construction and woodworking, and he told me, he goes, it's always good to get a trade, because no matter where you go in the world,
Smart advice, especially today.
100, sure, people are depending too much on computers and technology, but what happens when that stuff breaks?
Yeah, and
You
there's
know?
only so many accountants we need, only so many lawyers, only so many dentists. Everywhere you go, you see a dentist. Not that they're not great professions and noble
Yeah,
professions,
yeah.
but we need skilled tradespepeople. We can't find them, and we're not
it's
encouraging
tough.
our kids to do it. There's trades guys making $60, $70 an hour,
Yeah.
and we don't encourage those kids. What's wrong with us?
What's wrong with this is that we're not showing them that it doesn't look glamorous. They're not going to be on TV, you know. But if you are good enough, you could be on TV. You could be on
Absolutely.
HGTV or
Absolutely.
Tono's Everything.
That's
you
it.
know what I mean? But the way I see it is we have to show them that there's a value in having something that no one could take away from you, whether it's an athletic skill, a construction
beautiful.
skill,
That's amazing.
a technology skill, even
is
a
amazing.
personable skill, like just relating to people and putting yourself in someone else's shoes and appreciating for what you have. And once you have that, I think you can build a successful business. You know, a lot of my friends, they saw me start my business at 19 years old.
Amazing.
You know,
19, you started your own business.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
I had a
because most
part.
kids could never do that. At 19, they could barely change their underwear. We
Yeah.
got all these helicopter mothers coming in, doing everything for their kids, still making them lunch, cleaning their clothes. You're 19, opening your own business.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I can't say I can still change my own underwear. You know what I mean? But
You
you
need
know,
a good-looking woman to do
that's
that.
it. Straight up, behind every good guy is a great woman. They say.
That's true.
So
That's
so
true.
I'm very thankful for that. When I like.
Just a quick plug, if you want to read a good book about that, read Elena Cardone's book on building empires. Elena Cardone.
Elena
And it talks
Cardone.
about
I will
how
check
she
it out,
supports
100%.
her man and how together they built an empire. And it's about working together. And it's about how women are leaders in today's business world and in society.
You know what?
So-
Without women, bro,
Where
where would the
we're
world?
going
Where would we
nowhere.
go? Where
You
would
got
we
it.
go?
You got
know?
it.
But you're absolutely right when it comes to, teaching our youth about the business avenues. Having ways of showing them that you could still have all the glam and this and that, but have a skill that when you're done high school, even your part-time job where you work. Like I've worked everywhere. I worked at Athletes World. I worked at Bata Shoes. I've worked in the lead refinery. I've been in an extra on television shows
it
such
all.
as Murdoch Mysteries on CBC. I've seen everything.
So you were sitting around waiting for the perfect opportunity. You went out and found opportunity.
Yeah, I had an older buddy. I've always had older, mature friends, such as yourself. I look up to you, Tony.
Thank you.
And a lot of guys, they don't understand that. That's valuable, because the wisdom that we can get at a young age, for someone that has experience, it goes a hell of a long way.
Mentorship, really important.
So I had my business partner at the time. He approached me and goes, listen, I want to start business with you. He was 32 years old. I was 19, and he goes, listen, you have the gift of the gab. You know what you're talking about. You can sell jobs. He goes, I'll teach you how to do painting and plastering. I had my own skills in carpentry and concrete and stuff like that, and rough general construction. But the finishing part, the important part to make it look beautiful, is what I learned. And within a couple of years, we were doing very well. It was great.
Amazing. So I know you got this successful business. Let me ask you a question. Is it better to be poor and happy or rich and driven?
It's better to be rich
And driven. I
and driven.
agree, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather drive a
'Cause
Bentley.
yeah, listen, I was poor and happy, okay? But having more than one source of income, whether you're making 50 cents or $50,000 or $5 million, you have that sense of pride that at night you can go home, you can close your eyes with both of them closed and not worry.
Amazing.
A lot of kids, they think,
a great piece of advice.
the easy life, it comes easy, but believe me, it goes fast. The higher you fly, the harder you fall. And I've seen a lot of friends go. I've had some terrible news in the past few years, especially around Christmas time, that I've had buddies that they lost their lives because they didn't believe in themselves enough, and they were too prideful to ask for help. And
Mental
saying
health,
this
a big problem today.
big time, especially we just had that
Bell-
Bell Let's Talk
yep.
Day. I'm not a Bell customer, but I think it's a great cause.
It's amazing.
A lot of people
Absolutely.
are being forgotten about just because of they don't have a physical disability Well, I think we're forgetting that there's a lot of mental stuff that happens, and it's not because of people. I think it's because of outside entities such as government and agencies that they say they're going to help people, and they have their own little agenda. You know, these charities that they make millions and millions of dollars, and then there's people that don't see a penny of it, and they're still starving. You know, it breaks my heart. It is. It's very sad. There's no, the way I see it, if there's no unity, there's no point for humanity.
Absolutely.
And if we don't figure that out now, there's going to be no tomorrow to change it.
For sure. We got to help each other, but it starts with helping ourselves. If we don't help ourselves first, we can't take care of other people. So 100%. If we're not healthy, we can't go out and support our family, our kids, and everyone else.
Oh, I agree.
2 last questions. Today, the Leafs sign Austin Matthews.
Woo!
$11 million bucks a year. Was it worth it for the Leafs? It's a 5-year deal. Highest paid Leaf.
100%. He's a beast. He's an animal. That's Austin Matthews we're talking about here.
Let me ask you this question. Are the Leafs going to win the Cup this year? They haven't won since 1967. Wait, before you say it, in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of talk. But I want to know, now that he signed the contract, is money going to be that extra motivator to get the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup this year? Will they win the Cup this year?
100%. 100%.
You heard it here first.
I'll tell you right now, that's my bet.
The Leafs are winning the Cup. They haven't won since 1967, but they're going to win this year, and I'm going to put money on that one because you know what? I believe in you, and I know it's going to happen.
I honestly see it. I think he's going to get motivated by the money. I like the way Babcock is controlling the team and defending his team as a family, as a father would to his children. And those players are his children. Absolutely. And whoever says anything, he doesn't care. People could say what they want about Gardner, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But when Gardner does a good play or a good stop, we all go nuts for it, right? So it means the good times and the bad. It's like a marriage. You're there for the good times and the bad. And what defines a relationship is the bad times and how you make it through. But once you get through that, which the Leafs has had the last few years, you know, but this year is the good time.
This is the year.
This is the year. Let's go.
Advice. We got to change your name from the real Marco G to the real Dr. Phil, man.
Oh,
that was
straight
deep.
up,
that
straight
was deep.
up, straight up.
Last question.
Yes, Pablo.
If there was a soundtrack or one song to describe your life, what would that song be? Tell me the song that would describe the real Marco G's life.
Okay, guys, I'm going to kick it back old school. I don't know if you guys... I know you know this one for sure. The Italian soccer anthem, okay? I think you know how it goes. It goes... Oh, oh! And
this is why this is the real Marco G in the house. Were you ever a club promoter? Were you ever a club promoter?
Dude, we used to run all the clubs. Paparazzi, Palazzo. Me and my boys, we ran it back in the day.
So my song for the Leafs is going to be Don't Stop Believin' by Jersey.
Oh, God.
Journey. They got to win. I like Jersey too, Bon Jovi. That's my era.
You know what? Logan loves Bon Jovi. He's in the shower all the time singing it.
Awesome. Okay, brother, last thing. We're going to have a beer for our sponsor.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Mill Street Organic. Buddy, this is for the Leafs, the Raptors too, man.
Yeah.
You know what?
All of Toronto.
Toronto teams. Let me ask you another question since we're cracking open a beer.
Sure, why not?
What do you think about this major indoor soccer league? You got the Mississauga team.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a great venture. It's okay.
Salute, brother. Cheers.
Sorry,
All the
cheers.
best.
Sorry,
what do you think?
What I think, it's great. And what Phil Ionati's doing with that organization, it's giving another avenue for great athletes in Toronto to excel.
More exposure.
I watched some of the games on MASL, and their stadiums are packed. And I'm telling you, the Mississauga Metro Stars, it's going to come. This year, next year, they're going to keep selling more tickets, more positivity. They're going to keep smashing more goals because, okay, they've had some unfortunate losses, but they've been so close neck and neck. I think they're going to kill it. We have a lot of great players
Caruso
there.
On that team. Shout out to Louis Caruso.
Straight up, Louis Caruso.
Definitely the best football goalie in the GTA.
Oh, he's an animal, and that guy can smash goals.
And ball hockey too, man. He's an all-around athlete.
Dude, we could put him in a badminton team. I'm sure he'll be smashing points.
Last question, then we're going. This is the absolute last one.
Okay.
2026, Team Canada World Cup. What do you think? I ask everyone this because I'm so excited about it. I'm going to take that whole year off It's going to be my World Cup year. I don't give a shit what happens. The earth could crumble. That's my World Cup year, 2026. I'm going to be everywhere. Mexico, California, New York, Toronto, Montreal. What is Team Canada doing in 2026?
I don't really know, but I'll tell you the truth. Send me the itinerary, bro, because we're going to film that one. I'm going on that trip, bro.
It's going to be an amazing, incredible
epic.
year,
That
man.
sounds epic.
Year.
Oh,
okay,
my God.
I'm going to have you there. Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it.
It was
Thank
an
you for
amazing
having me,
show.
honestly.
I love having you here at Bond Sportsplex 2
It's a
every
pleasure,
week.
bro.
You're an amazing guy, a big fan. You're the Nabata of soccer, the guy from the Raptors. You know, he spent $300,000 on Raptors tickets last year.
Get the
The
hell
super
out.
fan, but you are the soccer super fan, and you don't need to spend $300,000 because it comes from the heart, brother.
God bless you.
Okay,
Thanks, Bello.
thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Join
Thank you,
us next
everyone.
week. Toe knows everything.
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. And if you can take it, it's all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about pay.